What is up, and welcome everybody to FPL Q&A for Game Week 13 live. This is the episode where we look over the Champions League Roundup. We also answer some questions from the comments in the videos for this game week, and then we just chat in the chat, answer your questions, talk about stuff, and of course, as usual, what you drinking? I'm drinking red wine, Cabernet Sauvignon, and my French accent is rubbish. But it's good to see some of you guys in the chat again. Rad Robbie Roller, Your Nightmare, Isa T. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good day. I've been Christmas shopping, so I'm absolutely knackered. Was tempted to not do the stream. That's how tired I was. But I thought, no, get on with it. You've promised it, so do your bloody job. You're a YouTuber now, so get on stream. Anyway. So while we let some people join the chat, we will quickly cover what happened in the Champions League. I'm aware that Arsenal, I believe, lost 1-0 in their game in the Europa Cup or whatever it's called now. I don't know much about that though, so I won't be talking about that. But what I will be talking about is all the Champions League English games. We'll start off with the Manchester City game where we had Manchester City just win 1-0. A lot of people expecting them to beat Feyenoord, who they were playing by a bit more than that. But a win's a win, 3 points are 3 points. But in FPL terms, there is some concerns for some people and potentially some good news for others. So we have Sergio Aguero having played the full 90 minutes in the Champions League, which means likely that Gabriel Jesus is going to start this weekend. Now the reason for that is because Pep Guardiola has come out and said with Benjamin Mendy out injured, he hasn't got anyone that can really play out wide left apart from Sane. And if Sane is playing, he doesn't think he can start both Aguero and Jesus. So that makes Sane look more nailed on in the important games, and it makes it look like Jesus will start this game week because Aguero played the full 90 minutes. So players with the likes of David Silva, Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sane, looks like you are going to have your players start for Manchester City. Sterling, he actually played, I believe, most of the game. He was the one that scored. He may be dropped, he may play. It's likely that if they're only playing one striker, I can see Sterling playing on the other side of Jesus to Leroy Sane. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, is the one that seems most nailed on at the moment. He's started every league and European match so far this season. And he will now be suspended, apparently. Is that right? Let me make sure I'm getting my stats right. Yeah, he picked up a caution, Kevin De Bruyne, which means he won't be playing against Shakhtar Donetsk, which means he's probably more nailed on for all the Premier League games then as well, because he hasn't got anything else to worry about. At the back, Guardiola started Otamendi and Mangala, which means Vincent Kompany should be starting this weekend. We'd imagine with Otamendi, but you never know with Guardiola. We can't always trust him to do what seems like the most logical thing to do. So that is the Man City game covered. We then have the Liverpool game, where Liverpool were actually 3-0 up, and they somehow managed to throw away their lead and draw 3-3, which is disappointing, especially as when it went to 3-2, they still had chances to win. Salah didn't pick up a goal or an assist, which is slightly worrying because you'd expect him to. It's a dry patch. He's been doing very well recently, but it doesn't matter. It's all right. Hopefully that just means he's wasted his barren game on the Champions League, which is great for the rest of us. Firmino and Sadio Mane did, however, score and assist goals. Georgie Wijnaldum was also amongst the mix. However, Alberto Moreno produced a second half horror show from what I've read. I've not actually seen the game, which could see him dropped, despite a lot of people having considered bringing him in. Now, hopefully one game doesn't make Jurgen Klopp jump to conclusions there if you have brought him in, but Alberto Moreno was replaced by James Milner, and you have the return of Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, so it's not looking as predictable at the back as it would have been before the Champions League game started. And then, sorry, I completely lost track of thought. That's what happens when you're going live. I was going to speak about Coutinho, but he didn't really do much. So I'll speak about Spurs, move on to the Spurs game. Spurs managed to come back from 1-0 down to win 2-1 with Harry Kane and Dele Alli performing well as Son Heung-min, who did curl the winner in. So looks like Harry Kane and Dele Alli might be returning to form. Dele Alli has really struggled this season to impress. Harry Kane has had bursts of really impressive performances, but has been on a bit of a barren spell himself. Spurs are through to the next round of the Champions League with a game to spare. They will probably put out a weaker side in their last Champions League game in December then, which could mean that we are able to predict their starting lineups in the fixtures around that game, which would be good for the rest of us. Christian Eriksen, however, is still failing to produce, which is very surprising compared to his great start to the season, so it could be time to get Eriksen out. But with Kane against West Brom this weekend and having scored in the Champions League, I think a lot of managers are hoping for a really good return from Harry Kane, or he is at risk of getting ousted out of a lot of teams. And then we have the Wednesday games. We have Chelsea, who cruised to a victory of 4-0 over Qarabag. I hope that's how you say the name. I have no idea. Alvaro Morata spent much of the match on the bench. So he only came on for Eden Hazard, who came off in the 65th minute. So that means both players didn't play 90 minutes. That means both players didn't play 90 minutes, which is great for all of us who have brought in Alvaro Morata or Eden Hazard. Pedro, Willian, Cesc Fabregas, they all looked good. Rotation played a part in the defence as well. Regular starters Marcos Alonso and N'Golo Kante replaced. Young defender Andreas Christensen wasn't. And Antonio Conte has said Christensen deserves to play the way he's been performing at the moment. So he could continue to play in the Chelsea side and start this weekend. David Luiz played last night, but he has been replaced by Christensen in the Premier League games. And if that continues, then David Luiz's ownership should be slightly worried. And then Manchester United, they managed to somehow lose 1-0 to Basel. They dominated the first half. Apparently Paul Pogba was the main man, which is what we all predicted before. Paul Pogba makes that side tick. Romelu Lukaku apparently had a really poor first half, and it was partly down to him that Man United didn't win. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come for those of you that have Romelu Lukaku. They have an okay fixture list, I think, off the top of my head, if I quickly have a look, just to make sure I'm not talking absolute. They have Arsenal and Manchester City in Game Week 15 and 16, so it's not an easy run, but they do have before that Brighton, Hove Albion, Watford, and then Bournemouth after. So potentially we need players like Lukaku and Pogba, for those of you that own them, to be doing well. Rojo apparently also returned from injury and formed a good partnership with Chris Smalling. Both priced at 5.4, could be in action on Saturday. Phil Jones has been apparently ruled out for this weekend earlier in the week as well, and Eric Bailly is still doubtful. It doesn't look like Lindelof is going to play. He has failed to impress, hasn't he? So Zlatan Ibrahimovic had a 26-minute cameo. Nothing really happened. And Lukaku still played 90 minutes in the Champions League. He's playing 90 minutes a lot, so at least he's getting the game time, but he wasn't good in this game. So what we'll do now, and I'm sure I'm falling way behind in the chat, but this is all stuff I feel like we should be covering because I always promise to do this. We will go over the comments since the last time we streamed. If someone could put the league code in the chat, I will try, hopefully whoever watches, Josh Omram, hopefully you watch this stream as well so you can see that. Mitch Connor, Will Hughes looks like he's got a tan. The reason Will Hughes doesn't have his own cutout in the graphics, if those of you are wondering, and to be honest, quite a few Watford players have that same cutout, is purely because they don't have a decent cutout available on the web. And I suppose I could cut him out myself, but that would take some time, and I'm trying to put the videos out, so I haven't made a cut of Will Hughes. That is why I use that Watford one instead of the silhouette that I use for every other single player in any other team. Haven't you unlocked Richarlison yet? Not completely sure what that means, so I can't really comment. Matthew Pelelica, feel free to comment on your comment to explain that a bit more to me. Nico London with a comment. What should I do? Silva, Pogba or Aguero, Lukaku? Silva, Pogba or... Oh, okay, out of the two options. So if that's David Silva or Paul Pogba, I'll go Pogba. And Aguero, Lukaku, I'll probably go Lukaku just because Aguero and Jesus are probably going to rotate until Benjamin Mendy comes back. We've got Tiger Rage with his team. We've got goalkeeper Fabianski, defenders Ward, Otamendi, Daniels, Salah Loftus-Cheek, David Silva, Richarlison, Sane, Morata and Kane, Elliot Abraham, Mbemba and Jones. Mbemba you should swap out if you can, because there's no point in the Christmas period having a player that doesn't play. Otherwise, that team looks pretty good. David Silva, I'd probably change for Paul Pogba, but otherwise that team looks pretty impressive. Jamal Rice telling me for a month Liverpool's defence is good. Weren't that good in the Champions League recently, but apparently at home their defensive record is good. If it is, that is something to take on board. But against Chelsea, could I see Chelsea scoring? Yes. I still don't have faith in Liverpool's defence. You have two goalkeepers who I don't think are world class, and you have Lovren there as well. So we have a few congratulations for the fact that I announced in my team for Game Week 13 the fact that I'm expecting another child with my wife. A couple of congratulations there, so thank you guys so much for all of that. Should I captain Kane or Lukaku? Safe option would be Lukaku, but I can see Kane scoring. I know Megson likes to set teams up to defend, as I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, but I think Spurs will score goals. I think Spurs will score goals, but Lukaku probably is the safer choice. I think with Paul Pogba back in the side, I think Lukaku will score at least one, whereas I think Kane has the potential to score a very big return. LK with a lovely comment. Apparently I still look like a potato. But you know what? Everyone likes potatoes, so... What are you saying? And then we have a lot of comments on the new series I trialled out this week. Feel free to let me know what you thought of it if you watched it. Basically what it is it's Game Week 13 fixture analysis for FPL, where I look at the fixtures, look at the teams scoring a lot of goals, and look at who they're playing and see if they're playing teams that concede a lot of goals. And who knows, maybe I will pick out a few teams that go on and score a lot of goals and the players get a lot of FPL points. And if it works out, I will continue doing it. People say maybe every 2 weeks instead of every week because the fixtures won't have changed much after 1 week. So that's definitely something I will take on board. AM Saturday saying this is a cool show. I would like this concept if you're able to do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. What would be nice is a show called Hot List, which I used to do a Hot List last year, so I could definitely consider bringing that back, where you find top 3 players in different positions. I will consider that, take it on board AM Saturday. Anugrah Prasad, this is exactly what I need to make transfers. Great concept, do this at least every 3 game weeks. Price Bajgar. What about Chelsea defenders? Is Louise at the starting 11? It looks like Louise isn't going to start that often in the Chelsea team for Premier League fixtures. Aspilicueta is the one I would be looking at in that Chelsea defence, personally. Daniel Hyams, what your channel lack is some Drake tunes. Can you please correct this in the future? I could drop some Drake tunes in there. It does mean I'd get demonetised though. That's the reason why they're generally not in there. And Michael Olomorato, this is a brilliant idea. Good job, man. So that is everything I believe we need to cover. Hopefully I haven't been talking this whole time, because yeah, if I've been talking this whole time and the audio hasn't been working, although my computer says it has been, that would be disastrous. Chat doesn't look too bad, so I should be able to catch up pretty quickly. Depending on how this chat goes, I might keep it short and sweet, purely because I have been walking all over town today, shopping, buying stuff for Christmas. Because we're in a new flat, I've got to get all new Christmas decorations as well. So, yeah. So, we've got a few more people joining the chat before we have an interesting stat. And hi, Dom Stimfig, by the way. Still know how to say your name. And Ayush Falur. Interesting stat from Ayush. Liverpool has best defence at home in the Premier League, but the worst defence away from home. I'm not sure what to take with that. I still think they're pretty poor either way. I know what the stats are saying, but I just don't trust that Liverpool defence at all. Another Hoops is in the chat. How are you doing? Asad Tariq is in the chat. Hello, J Rock back in the chat. What's up? Ayush Fuller, Sterling to be rested as well. 180 minutes over 2 games. I reckon Sterling could probably get rested. My transfer may just be a boring transfer of Sane for Sterling, just to cover it. I think Sterling's going to play a lot in the Premier League fixtures. And I don't think Sterling's going to start. I know that's a very boring transfer, but I feel like I still need Man City coverage in that midfield. Another Hoops, I'm concerned about keeping Aguero until I get Morata next week. I would be concerned. I don't think he's going to start. I think I've already mentioned that. Will Lukaku play or Ibra play? I think Lukaku will still be the starting striker. If Mourinho tries to figure out a way of starting both of them, I don't know. Ibra may start in the cup games and the European games or something, but I think Lukaku is still the main man at the moment. Asad Tariq, question, Morata in for Aguero out? I think that's a clever move. Even with the fixture that Chelsea have this game week, I think Morata's more likely to get points than Aguero. Rad Robbie Roller, the great thing about owning Arsenal players is none of the first 11 play in the Europa League, so they're 100% play in the league. That is true. And for some reason, I've not thought of that myself until you've just told me. But yeah, they're not going to start any of the first team Arsenal players in the Europa League. Thomas McCarthy hates FPL. To be honest, I think everyone hates FPL at some point in their FPL career. So it's not unusual. Jeff Holt is in the chat. How are you doing, Jeff? Wow, Jeff Holt. Oh, and happy... Sorry, I'm English, so Thanksgiving isn't a thing for me. But to everybody that does celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you've had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great... I don't know what the rest of it is, because I don't celebrate it. But I know you have Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, and you all do shopping. We still have Black Friday here, but mainly online, and the shops kind of do a week of sales. But happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you spent time with your family and rested, because it's always good to rest over the holidays. So I hope you guys did that. Having chili dogs, root beer and peanut butter cups. That sounds like a good night to me. Chili dogs, like. Root beer, like. Peanut butter cups, like. And of course Jeff Holt, the classy man he is, wishes any American Flock members happy Thanksgiving. Justin Grierson is in the chat. Isa T, I've been above the 100k overall rank for the past 5 game weeks. What should I do to step in 100k? Play more differential players or just be patient? I mean, I'd have to see your team, but differential players would help as long as you pick the right ones. Sometimes it's worth being patient. It's still early days. Your big moves might be more easy to see further into the game than right now. Right now, if you actually think about the overall game, you could break the top 100k now. You could even be in the top 20k, the top 10k. But what's important is where you finish at the end of the game, because that's what people will ask you the next year. So you could say, oh, the highest point I had was I was in the top 5k. And then they'll be like, what's your overall rank? And you're like, oh, I was in the top 300k. And they're like, what? So remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I'd potentially be patient for now. We're not too far into the season. Rad Robbie Roller, I managed to get 97 this week. A lot of people did really well this week. Unfortunately, I didn't. I just got above the average. Harry Kane and Spurs, in fact, really hurt me. Pope, Rad Robbie Roller's team is Pope. That's Nick Pope. Alonso, Azpilicueta, Walker, Valencia, Kolasinac, Sane, Richarlison, Pogba, Alexis and Morata, 5-4-1. Any suggestions on changes for the next game week? Well, I mean, you've got more points than me, so should I really suggest anything to you? But for me, I don't see... I mean, it worked last game week, but I think having 2 Chelsea defenders is a risk. As far as your midfield goes, I think your midfield is quality. So I wouldn't really change anything about your midfield. Morata I like as well. I think he's going to do really well because Chelsea have kind of changed formation a bit. It's kind of gone under the radar. I read a Tifo article. If you don't know Tifo, they've got a YouTube channel and a website. They actually work from the same area that I live in as well. So definitely check them out. They did an article recently on how Chelsea have changed formation. And I think it could really benefit Morata as far as Fantasy Premier League goes. Luke Frith, I took Eriksen out now, brought in Zaha. To be honest, I'm only keeping Eriksen because the next game is against West Brom and I'm hoping for a rout. But I'm definitely considering taking Eriksen out. And if I thought Sterling was going to start, Eriksen's time probably would have been up. We have Legend Joe. Oh no, I'm the Legend, J&O from Acid Tariq. Thank you very much for that comment, mate. I'm looking at Firmino and Loftus-Cheek out for Wilson and Pogba in. I can see that working. Asad Tariq really backing me up in the chat. And TP is back in the chat. Welcome back, TP. Nice to see you again. Jones out for Otamendi. Justin Grierson, that sounds like a great shout. We got Rahul Game. How you doing? Henry Hensmoke. I'm getting Alonso but want to get a City defence. But the only way to do this is to downgrade Sane to Sterling. Worth it. I think overall, Sterling probably is going to play a good number of the games because of the injury to Benjamin Mendy. So, I mean, I know where I stand on Alonso, and I'm going to try and not back down from this like I did last time. I personally don't think Alonso is going to have as good a season as last. I think, for one, people are more aware of him, and 2, as far as defenders and teams of neutralising his attacking threat. But I also just have a feeling with this new formation that they brought in and the fact that Azpilicueta is so versatile, Alonso can be dropped. So I'm personally not going to go for Alonso. So I wouldn't say it's worth it, but I don't think Sterling will be too far a drop down from Sane as far as the quality of a player you've got. Siraj joining us late. Fashionably late, mate. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You can always catch up with the rest of the stream when it's published later today. Justin Grierson, I agree. Sane is the man to keep right now. Rahul Game late as well. All you guys fashionably late today, or maybe I'm just early. This is what I'd like to see, of course. Say hello to each other as well, because it's nice to see a community built in the chat, as well as just people coming here to ask me questions. You can ask each other questions as well. I'll still talk about what's going on, but there are some good players in this chat, so feel free to ask each other questions as well. Some of them are a lot higher than I am, so, you know, potentially you should be asking them and not me. Florin Sandu, what are the 3 games where we should expect over 2 goals this game week? Okay, let's see what we can figure out. If you watch my fixture analysis video, that might help. Because what I did was I looked at stats of teams in the last video. And I'll do a little bit of that right now. But if I go and look at team stats, I can tell you, defending-wise, in the last 6 game weeks, Huddersfield have conceded the most amount of goals, joint with Stoke. Then Everton and West Brom and West Ham have all conceded 12 or more goals in 6 game weeks. That's 2 or more a game on average. Huddersfield and Stoke are playing... Huddersfield are playing Man City, so that could be a rout. Stoke are playing Crystal Palace. I wouldn't expect loads of goals from Palace, but you never know. But Liverpool are playing against Stoke the game week after that, so you could expect a lot of goals in that one. What other ones did we have? We had Everton, West Brom and West Ham. So West Brom are playing Tottenham. I'm hoping Tottenham will bounce back big in that one. Everton are playing Southampton. Southampton haven't been scoring, so I wouldn't expect anything there. and West Ham are playing Leicester. So if you have a Leicester player, potentially Vardy, Mahrez could be getting a decent score this game week. But Man City are the highest scorers. Man United are good at scoring when Pogba's playing, but Brighton Hove Albion haven't been the pushovers that some expected them to be. So the one I'd say is going to really should have a lot of goals is the Man City game, because Man City Huddersfield, Man City should run riot. So that's why I'm feeling like I have to change Sterling to Sane, because I feel like Jesus, Sane and Otamendi, I could be laughing this game week. Okay, Karim Gomez, considering Coutinho is 0.8 million cheaper than Salah, should I opt for the Brazilian? I wouldn't right now because, one, I feel like in January he could move, so you're only going to get him for a month, so it's a bit of a short-term transfer. Two, I don't think his heart is in it, whereas Salah right now wants to perform for Liverpool, has the form, and seems to be the must-have player in that side. So I would keep Salah. Mane and Firmino are the only other options to me right now. Wijnaldum potentially could be someone you could look at, but really I don't see any reason to be taking out Salah. Jeff Holt, Captain Kane or Pogba this week? See, I worry that if I stop keeping faith with Kane, he's going to go and score an absolute bucket load. For me, West Brom seem weaker than Brighton Hove Albion, but Pogba just seems a class above this season. I'd probably still go Kane, but that's just me being a stubborn guy thinking strikers will always score more than midfielders, when Mohamed Salah's kind of proven that if I'd captained him the last 2 game weeks, I'd have been laughing my way to a higher ranking. Ayush Valur, but then why didn't Lukaku score versus Basel? I don't know why Lukaku didn't score against Basel. I didn't watch the game, but from what I heard, he really should have scored. Lukaku does have periods where he really fails to flatter, where he does still get chances but doesn't seem to score. He's got a nickname on Twitter in the FPL scene as Blankaku because he blanks a lot. So I don't know if that has kind of affected my opinion of him, but I don't trust Lukaku. That is my personal feeling. But to defend myself, one bad game doesn't mean you're a bad player. Lukaku has scored when he's not looked good, whereas Kane has not looked good and not scored, and sometimes he's looked really good and not scored. So we'll see this weekend, but I just have a feeling that with Pogba back, Lukaku's record of scoring, I think when Pogba's on the pitch, is very high. So we'll see, but I'm captaining Kane. I'm not bringing Lukaku in, so I can say all this stuff about Lukaku, but as you see, he's not been near my side since I transferred him out. Someone loves potatoes, so you must love watching my video. I didn't see who it was that loved potatoes. Wow, been a lot of questions in the chat. I thought I was catching up, but I'm nowhere near. Jeff Holt, Spud we like, JNO we love. Well, potatoes are pretty damn good. If you think about it, a lot of meals have potato. Kane got to score more for me to ever captain him again. I'm about to get rid of him. I can completely understand that, but sometimes players have a bad run and then come back with vengeance. Hazard hadn't done much recently, and then look at him now. Is Hazard a must? I think at Chelsea, one of Morata or Hazard is probably a must. If both are a must right now, I don't think so. You have to really perform for a while for me to think you're a must. And for me, Richarlison is the must. At his price, Richarlison is the player that I would consider a must-have right now. Because if we quickly have a look, he's returned since game week 6. The only one he didn't return in was the Stoke game. If you have a look, for what's now 6.5 million, but if you had picked him up, say, in game week 6, you could have got him for 6 million. So he scored 7 points, 10, 5, 5, 1, 7, 8. So for me, Richarlison is the must-have right now. You've got all these other players that, yes, some of them are very good. Salah right now is on fire. 16 and 15. That's an impressive 2-week game score. He did get 4, but he missed a penalty. That's the only reason that's lower. And he got 7. So that's 4 games where he's returned points. He didn't really do anything in these 2 games, but then he did have that 2-week period in 5 and 6. But for me, Salah is the premium price player that is a must. But Richarlison, for that price, is returning a lot. So I think Richarlison is the player I'd say must have. Whereas if you look at someone like Hazard, he's definitely getting there because 5-11, then he blanked, but then 18. And he did play well in this game from what I heard. I don't think I watched this one because it was before the international break and I took a break myself. So Hazard is getting there. And Morata has returned in the last 3 and has had periods of big scores as well. So I do think right now you should be looking at bringing a Chelsea player in. But for me, Richarlison and Salah are the 2 players that are looking must-have. David Knight, if you captain Sane and it works for you, you are a legend. Not because Sane's not a good player and won't score a lot of goals, but because I still think a lot of players won't think of captaining someone like Sane, even though he's been doing really, really well. By the way, guys, this stream has been doing amazing, so thank you guys so much for jumping in on the stream. We are around the 40 mark for quite a while, which, of course, always very, very proud of. Always happy to see. Just going to tweet this out, see if we can get some more people to join the flock. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves, although I'm sure I will keep running my mouth because that's what YouTubers do, pretty much. We pretty much run our mouth. Don't know when to shut up. Okay, and we are back to the chat. Siraj, yes, because we took it lightly and we played Lingard, Blind, Darmian, and playing Lukaku and starting together is like playing basketball. Lukaku's not that slow though, is he, Siraj? I still think if you'd just been a bit more clinical, Man United would have won. J Rock is also captaining Sane. Maybe that's something we should do as a stream together. Everyone in this stream captain Sane. Who knows, it could work wonders. Ayush Valur, when is the child due? The child is due in June. So, not June. What am I talking about? Someone else's child is due in June. Mine's due in March. It would be good for me to remember that because otherwise I might be surprised when my wife calls me and says, you need to come home from work. So, yeah. Oh, Dinesh L has just joined the flock. I did not see... My computer did not tell me that. But, so sorry, Dinesh. Usually I shout it out when your name's on the screen, but I probably just missed it. So thank you for joining the flock. Everyone, some birds in the chat. The Twitter bird, any bird, for Dinesh L joining the flock. Amir Hajar, how can I improve my wildcard? I have Speroni, Valencia, Kolasinic, Kabasele, Pogba, Sane, Richarlison, Choupo-Moting, Laka, Jesus and Kane. I can also change Valencia for Smalling and Jesus for Lukaku. See, I'd worry about Jesus long term, but for this game week, Jesus looks to be a good option. Lacazette, if Arsenal can continue their upturn in form, then Lacazette could be a great shout. No problem with your midfield. Richarlison and Choupo-Moting are the standout, cheaper midfielder options. So, I'm just hoping you've got another keeper in mind than Speroni. Because while Speroni's a starter and he's cheap, I still wouldn't bank on that Crystal Palace defence just yet. AM Saturday has joined the chat. Welcome to the chat. I should do something to welcome regular members of the chat. We could have waves in the chat for regular members. Maybe we should do that. I had a feeling that Mourinho is going to start Ibrahimovic over Lukaku this game week. If he does, that will hurt a lot of people, but it would be good for me because I don't have him. TP Football Analysis, so if it was during March, your wife was pregnant in about June, how did you keep it secret for 4 or 5 months? Well, strictly speaking, you're meant to keep it secret for the first, is it 12 weeks, I believe, which is roughly 3 months, because that's when it's most at risk of not working out. And as you guys know, well, those of you who've been around for a while, I'm presuming I've told you this, but my wife did have a miscarriage earlier this year, in that period of that first 12 weeks. So you don't really talk about it for the first 12 weeks. And then I guess I didn't really bring it up in a video. So, you know, I don't know. I don't have an excuse for it. I think part of me thought I'd told you all, but I obviously hadn't. Asad Tariq, congratulations, JNO Jr. Thank you very much. Thank you, Emre Oz. Aim Saturday is going to take the risk and make Lukaku captain. Real DMC, what is up, my man? Welcome to the chat. Mr. is in the chat as well. Would I do Jones to Mustafi for free? And now the tough one, do you risk captaining Kane in another easy home match? I'd say yes and yes. I'm standing by firmly that a player cannot be rubbish at a stadium. It just cannot be the case. A team cannot be rubbish at a stadium forever. They must get better at playing there, surely. Surely. I think I'm trying to convince myself. I think Kane will score this weekend. And I will say that now, and I will face the consequences on stream if he doesn't when we stream next week. What I might do on Monday is just stream, because it's impossible for me to get the usual videos up in one day. I might try and get one of them up, but I might just stream instead. Just so, because I think so far I've not missed a game week. I've made videos for every game week, so I might have to check that. But this will be the first year that I don't miss any game weeks if I can keep it going. So I'm going to back Kane to score. Ayush Valur, I've taken Harry Kane out twice. He responded by scoring a brace both times. I don't care if he gives 1 point now. I'm not taking him out. Ayush Valur, please take him out, because that would be of great benefit to me. Special Black Friday sale. You get G. Is that a girl or just G? By the way, my wife may be very kind and buy me a present that could benefit the stream. So we'll see about that. But we'll keep that on lockdown for now. Ben Mitchell, I have Morata, Hazard and Kane. Who should I captain? I'm still going Kane. I think Kane will score big this weekend. And I'm probably not going to be right. TP Football Analysis, yes, I'm an alcoholic. You guys are literally my AA meeting. Well, not really. But I do actually seem to drink with you more often now than I do my own friends. Because a quick stream before work the next day, stream when I've got the day off. Whereas me and my mates have different work patterns, so it's quite hard to meet up with them. Hopefully they'll meet up with me for my birthday, which is on the 4th. So should be celebrating that the 2nd and 3rd. Ayish Valur, you get FPL players for a cheap rate if you make transfers with 3 seconds of logging in. I got Kane for 8.5 million. You must be pulling our leg, Ayush. You must be. That would be crazy if they actually did that on Black Friday. Like, the whole community would be like nailed onto their computer and just like bang, trying to bag someone for cheap. Real DMC, I'm looking bad at back as Azpilicueta, me, Mariappa, Lascelles and Jones. We were taking a hit to transfer, but I have funds in the bank. So I'm presuming you've already made a transfer. Aspi and me are fine. I'd say Jones is the one you should change to make sure you've got another decent defender. Otamendi is the one I would suggest if you don't have him. Daz Dark, sorry to hear you've done terribly for the last 3 game weeks. I don't like hearing that you guys have done terribly. I do like knowing that I've done better, which hasn't happened often this season. But Siraj, speaking to Ayush, I'm pretty sure Ayush is pulling our legs, Siraj. That's what I think is happening. Over Xmas, would you go with Vardy and Zaha or Sane and someone like Juve? Vardy and Zaha would mean no City cover. I would keep City cover just because the way they're scoring right now, I think you need it. FPL Scouts tipped Lanzini as one to watch. Lanzini is a great player, and now that a new manager is in place, that may come to the forefront. I do feel like somehow Bilic managed to lessen the impact of Lanzini. I do think Lanzini is a good player. He also had a lot of injuries as well. But I think Lanzini is a great player. I wouldn't go with that myself right now. Ayush is on one tonight. Rahul Game, do you think Hammers can turn it around? I'm not going to hold judgment yet off of one game. I feel like it's possible. Do I have faith it will happen? Not really, but sometimes teams can turn it around with the replacement of a new manager. Sometimes it doesn't. I really can't tell right now. I wasn't particularly impressed with the Watford game, but I did see improvements, if that makes any sense at all. So potentially it could be better, but I just don't think. I think moving stadium probably really hurt us. In the long term, I'm sure it won't, but in the short term, I think it may have. J Rock's now selling Rivers. Mats B. Peterson from Norway in the chat, and Blues Bees. The case with Aguero is we all think he won't be playing this game week, by the way, Blue Bees. Yush Valur saying to TP, upload more. By the way, guys, if you check out TP's channel, subscribe, because if you don't, then you're like a half member of the flock. Because what we do here is we support all the content creators that are part of our community as well. So if you haven't subscribed to him, go subscribe. Dom Stimpfig, should I get rid of Glenn Murray? And if so, who for around 6.5 million or less? Well, Callum Wilson's the favoured choice. Tammy Abraham's the one that's done it like slightly consistently over the last few game weeks, but Callum Wilson is the one everyone's jumping on and hoping can continue that form. Mark Baker in the chat, how you doing? World Cup draw on the 1st of December. That's a good game week. And we got Mark Back 76 joining the flock. Welcome to the family, my friend. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for joining this live stream. Yush Valur, why don't you do stuff midweek? I mean, don't pressure him too much. Trust me, Yush, it's hard to do videos regularly. I'm a sucker for punishment, to be fair. There have been periods where I've been doing videos every day for a long period, sometimes trying to do 2 in some days as well. It's difficult, it's a difficult push. And because I've consistently done it, I've got to the point now where I can kind of do videos quicker than I used to be able to do them. Editing wise, I'm quite quick now. The statistics wise still takes as long as it took when I started doing YouTube. But the recording I'm quicker at now because I'm slightly more confident in front of camera. Hopefully that is very noticeable from when I did 30 days of FPL and I showed you guys my first FPL video. So yeah, I'm a lot more confident than I used to be in front of camera. Now what I want to work on, and this is a hope of mine, and it may go on the other channel I have, which is J&O. If you don't know, type in J&O. It's mainly gamers on there now. But I would like to start vlogging, but that kind of confidence I don't have yet because vlogging in public feels very strange. I have done a few videos where I've vlogged in public and it just feels so very damn weird. But just like doing videos in front of a camera talking about stuff, it's something if you keep doing it, you'll get used to it. So maybe start vlogging, maybe. RD Master, how are you doing? We'll move on from that. Dinesh L, Norton, Otamendi, Ward, Moreno, Jones are my defenders. Should I replace Jones with Charlie Daniels? Or any upfield options, mate? If you've already -4, I wouldn't do it if you can manage without Jones for a game week. I'd be happy with Otamendi and Ward. Moreno is a risk of starting because of his bad performance, but I don't like taking too many minuses too early in the season. Ayush Valur, hopefully I already did that, but definitely go check out TP's channel. Regular member on the streams, subscribe to me for a while now, and definitely some decent content out there. So go check him out. Give him that push that Ayush Valur's trying to make him upload more. Give him all the support because, to be honest, it's so much easier making videos when you're getting some good support. When you're not getting the views and you're not getting the subscriptions and the likes, it can be a lot harder. There's been periods where I've grinded through and I've been not getting no growth and very little likes, and I've just kept going. Sometimes it can be hard, so support is essential. I know people say do it for yourself, but getting good feedback is always nice. Getting constructive criticism is also good. It's when you get called a potato. I personally don't care anymore, but that's because I've got to a point now where I'm used to it. But there are a lot of haters out there that say some mean things. I personally think if you don't have anything good to say or something to help someone, then don't bother saying it. But I'm at a point now where I actually find some of the comments quite amusing. I literally showed my wife the potato comment on the bus. I was like, look what someone said about me, and we both laughed about it. So thank you to the haters for providing me with some entertainment when I'm on the bus. Okay, Haley Con wants everyone to vote Kane or Lukaku for captain. My vote is for Harry Kane, just for the record. Pogba versus Lukaku. Do you agree Pogba offers better value to be third forward? Just thought of what Lukaku do makes me think twice though. I think Pogba is the man at Manchester United. When he's there, they play better. That does also mean that Lukaku could benefit from that and score a lot. But I right now have a lot more faith in Pogba's performances than I do Lukaku's. So I think Pogba is a very good bet to have in your Chelsea, in your FPL side. The reason I go between Morata and Hazard is because they're around the same price. Whereas I think Pogba and Lukaku could have very familiar or similar seasons points-wise. So Pogba would be the better option at the cheaper price. I just don't know how it would work, because that would give some people a massive advantage. I mean, and it could, to be honest, their servers might not be able to take 5 million people trying to make transfers at the same time. RD Master, that is difficult, because I think Salah is the midfielder to have right now. I think Eriksen is on a bad run of form, but game-wise, Spurs look a lot more likely to score a lot of goals than Liverpool against Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea side, Liverpool side are definitely capable of scoring, and scoring more than 2 or 3 against Chelsea if the game goes their way. But I'd have a lot more faith in putting a bet on Spurs beating West Brom than I do putting a bet on Liverpool beating Chelsea. So I don't want to say go with Eriksen, because I don't have faith in Eriksen's performances right now. Whereas a couple of weeks ago, I was saying I think he's second best to Kevin De Bruyne in the league as far as midfielders go. So I would say it's not worth a hit, just because you're already taking a -4, and then if it doesn't work, that's hurting your game week. Oh, but tomorrow, if I did a stream, surely it should be half-price subscription or half-price sponsorship, or I should have done like half-price t-shirts or something, but I don't know how to do it. I should have looked into it before. Maybe I will do my own Black Friday. I don't have to do it the same Black Friday as everyone else. I like being different. Sane captain this game week from David Knight. Any thoughts? I think it's a good shout, because Sane is good. I'm not sure he's consistently returned enough to be worthy of given the captaincy armband. Let's have a quick look though. He's at 9 million now. Wow, that's a £1 million rise. Oh no, he was 8.5 to start, but he dropped. So you could have got him at 8.2 at one point. See, 7, 2, 12. He's worth a shout as captain, to be fair, off of those points. But I'm just an old-fashioned player. I like captaining my strikers. Okay, so Dinesh L, Norton, Otamendi, Ward, Moreno and Jones are my defenders. Should I replace Jones with Charlie Daniels? I feel like I've already answered that one. But I said if you can manage it, don't take a -4. That's the way I feel about that. Oh, we had a question or something deleted, but never mind. I've got questions to answer. By the way, the chat is absolutely popping. I think I'm well behind. Azpilicueta or Alonso, I think I'm definitely in the Azpilicueta field because Azpilicueta is versatile. He can play centre-back, left and right-back. I think the new formation means that the left and right wing-back aren't as important to the team as they were in the 3-4-3 that they used to play. I think they're now playing like a 3-5-1-1. I think Azpilicueta has a great understanding with Morata as well. So that is the way I look at it. Is I feel like Azpilicueta offers a better option into that side because I think he also gets bonus points more often as well. Ahmed Hassan has apparently got 2 rubbish forwards but a great midfield. To be honest, the points seem like they're in midfield this season, so that isn't a bad look. Quinton Jansen, hi JNO, your vids are always appreciated. I've got Ward and me in my team. Should I stick or ditch one in the near future? The way Burnley's defence are playing right now, after this Arsenal game, you've got Bournemouth, Leicester, Watford, Stoke. I would not, if you've doubled up already, I would not get rid of any of them. Thank you, Real DMC and Thomas McCarthy, for getting people to like and share. Always appreciated. If you want to help me out, and I know I do bring up monetary ways of doing it, but the free ways to do it is literally just when you see my videos, hit that like button, share it out on Twitter if you have a Twitter account, and that is all stuff that helps. So any way you can help is always appreciated. I know sometimes I can be lazy, but I've had a good push this week to give you good content after taking a week off. And I'm planning to really push hard until Christmas. For the first time ever, I've got Christmas and Boxing Day off. So I might take that off just to spend with the family. And enjoy that, because I've not had that in a long time. David Knight's always wanted to be a legend. You know what? We might be legendary together. I might just take the risk with you. Matsby Peterson, think even more likely Aguero plays, and with Jones, Abraham and Mbemba in the team are potentially in really bad shape without taking some hits. That is true. I think you're at risk there, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You might just about get 11 players playing. Depends on the rest of your team. Badass JNO forgetting when his own child is due. There's a lot of things I could respond to that, but I'm just going to plead the fifth. RD Master, opinions on team: Foster, Elliott, Valencia, Vertonghen, Azpilicueta, Duffy, Ward, Silva, Ricarlison, Ericsson, Shaqiri, Loftus-Cheek, Aguero, Kane and Murray. I do not see anything wrong with that. And thank you, by the way, Ilyas Hussein, for joining the flock. It's much appreciated. This stream is going really well. I was going to do a short one tonight, but it's popping up in here. Foster needs to go, I think. I think you've got options like Pope, Rob Elliott. I think you've got other options there. Even Speroni right now seems just as good an option as Foster, and he's cheaper. Don't see anything wrong with your defence. Midfield, I think Silva is replaceable. I think Ericsson really needs to perform this week, or he should go. Other than that, Aguero is risky because of rotation. And then Murray, give him a bit more time. Hopefully he will pull it out and continue what he started by being a really good, cheap option. The ball off. Who to put in goal? If you're talking about for this game week, give me some options. Slightly further down, you put Fabianski or Elliott. So Newcastle are playing, if I can find them, Watford, and Swansea are playing Bournemouth. Now, you see, for me, Bournemouth did score a lot of goals last game week, but if I look at the team's stats as far as goal threat, in the last 6 game weeks, Bournemouth have scored 7 out of 6. Watford has scored 10 out of 6. So Watford definitely look the better attacking team currently. So I would probably say whoever Watford are playing, which I've already forgotten. I'd say Elliott has a chance of keeping a clean sheet at home. Matsby Peterson, Aguero to Morata and Mbemba to Otamendi. That sounds like perfect move to me, mate. Perfect. Mr. asking, good evening, would you do Jones to Mustafi for free? I feel like I've seen that one, or I may not have. But yes, Jones to Mustafi is a good move. My suggestion though is Otamendi personally. Which one of Alonso and Asby do you prefer? I've answered that as well. I've gone with Asby. I'm not going to explain again why, apologies, but it's mainly to do with the fact that I think he's less likely to be dropped when the fixtures get congested, and I think he just gets more bonus points and has a better understanding with Morata. And last one, do you risk Captain Kane? See, I'm pretty sure I answered that, unless I've dropped down in the comments somehow. But yes, I'm backing Kane. Norton, Otamendi, Ward, Moreno and Jones are my defenders. Should I replace Jones with Charlie Daniels? Have I dropped back? Because I've answered that one as well. So guys, just a little thing. If I don't get to your question straight away, it's because I am quite far back in the chat, because I'm trying to answer every question and there's a lot of them. So try to ask your question only once. I will try and answer every question. If you notice that I go from the question before and then skip yours and go to the question after, then feel free to post your question again. Siraj, yesterday we were playing good until we subbed off Pogba and Martial. To be honest, I was surprised when I heard that they took off Pogba and Martial. So I think Pogba is needed, and I think Martial is severely underrated by Mourinho, which surprises me because he's looked good. Every time he gets a chance, Martial looks good. Thank you, Matsby Peterson. That is a good five-man midfield. Like I've said, Silva's the one I'm not sure about, and Sterling. But that's just because they're Man City, and Pep Guardiola will mess up your life. Yes, I could do that, couldn't I? But how do I do it mid? Can I actually do it midstream? Let's have a look. Oh, there we go, poll. So let's do a popular one. Or sorry for the silence, but when a good suggestion is suggested, I like to take action. There we go, guys. So there is now a poll. If you press the I button and scroll down past the suggested video and the support me button, you will see a poll for Harry Kane or Romelu Lukaku for captain in game week 13. Sorry, and my vote is for Kane. So feel free to go and vote in that. And then we've got Ayush Falur. I think even you don't realise yourself that a child is due until a couple of months. I'm not in the wrong. It all depends how lucky you are when you do a test. My wife seems to like taking tests. I probably shouldn't share that, but she seems to like taking pregnancy tests. And I think that's something some women like to do. But I think she found out quite early, or we had a good feeling or inkling about it quite early. Because, of course, you've got the cheap tests and the expensive ones, and you do the cheap ones first and then you do an expensive one to make sure the cheap one didn't lie to you. But yeah, Mark Baker, Jeff, how do you afford all of them? No Kane. Speaking to Jeff. So Jeff, feel free to answer. I'm sure you probably already have. Every time a regular chatter joins, you must finish your drink. Jeff, what are you trying to do to me? I mean, I might get some very viral moments because I might get very, very drunk. That wasn't a drink because anyone joined, by the way. That was just a drink. See, I'm not sure about Calvert-Lewin, but the fixtures are coming up for Calvert-Lewin to do really well. No worries, mister. Just for the ease of the chat so I can get to people's questions quicker. But I understand sometimes you post it and I must be so far behind in the chat sometimes that people are like, When's he going to get to my damn question? Anyway, TP Football Analysis. Pope, Cedric, Norton, Daniels, Loftus-Cheek, Sterling, Richarlison, Salah, Ericsson, Lukaku, Kane, bench, Elliot Abraham, me, and K. Long. Is that FPL Tips' team? We're not worried about FPL Tips. 1 year I'll beat him, I promise. Elliot and Fabianski in goal for Jeff Holt. Time for a drink. Alright, boss. Alright, Mark. Ayesh Falur, JNO, my girlfriend would also like to congratulate you on the child. Thank you very much, Ayesh Falur's girlfriend. Much appreciated. If you guys want to know, we're going to name her Riley. So we've got Aria and Riley. Jeff Holt, Daniels, me, Davis, Cresswell in one bench folder. We got Matsby Peterson, tempted bringing my whole team backward and going 5-4-1 or something more value for money, I think. I'm just kind of holding on to the hope that someone like Harry Kane and Morata start really performing, because the points definitely seem to be in midfield for me, and I've been banging on about how you should have 3 strikers, but potentially I'm now considering just going to 2 strikers. So it could work, and I've been against it for ages, but Matsby Peterson is suggesting a team like Azpilicueta, Daniels, Otamendi, Ward, Kolasinac, Hazard, Salah, Sane, Richarlison, RLC, Abraham, Kane and Callum Wilson. So I have no problem with any of those defenders. That midfield is stacked. So yeah, you guys might slowly be bringing me around to it though, but to be honest, that would take a lot of transfers and a lot of pre-planning. So, you know, probably not going to happen until at least I can wildcard. I probably won't be doing that early. Matsby Peterson, 16 hits, tough. Definitely. FPL Tips, is anyone wondering, is 280k. So, look, last year I was beating him for a lot of the beginning, and then he caught up and beat me. So maybe this year it's the other way around. Who do I think will score highest this week? Harry Kane. I'm putting all my chips on Harry Kane. God damn it, come on, Harry. Jesus, I think, will do well this game week, though. A good attack versus a weak defence, with Jesus probably starting by the looks of it. I think Jesus could have a great game week. Who is leading your league? Is it someone regular in the streams? Let's have a look-see, shall we? Go to leagues. I dropped in the FPL league recently, which is annoying. We got Thiago Costa, Red Eagle, 105 points last game week. He's built up a substantial lead. Anyone in the chat that jumps out to me? Apologies if I go past your name. Jeff Holt is 17th. I think that's the second time I've seen you on the decline, though. Apologies if anyone else is in the chat that's higher. Alright, so Mark back 76. Chelsea fixtures after Liverpool are phenomenal. Very hard to get Chelsea players in without dropping Kane. I don't know, it's doable. I've had Morata and Kane at points in the season before. I think it would be very hard to get Hazard and Morata and Kane, because that's a lot of your budget. But I think it's definitely possible. Asad Tariq, can we shout out our ranks just to see how we guys in the show? Go for it. I might skip over the ranks purely because I'm not sure how that will play back when I put the video live. Not live, when I put it up as an upload. But feel free to shout out your ranks to each other. No worries, TP. Wow. Is that how far behind I am in the chat? TP's only just thanking me for the shout out. Hopefully you get a bunch of subscribers from it, mate, because I know it's a tough grind, this YouTube business. And I want everyone that supports me to grow as well. So definitely, again, go check out TP Football Analysis' channel. Suraj says, #1 rule, never trust FPL scouts. Most transfer player always gets below 4 until they made a video about the curse and that curse broke. That's a good point. I don't personally follow their videos though, to be honest. Quinton Jansen. See, what I'd love to do in the long term was be to finally get enough time where I could track what I suggested, and then talk about what I suggested and how it did. Because I know there are certain things I've suggested that have worked out really well. There are certain things I've suggested that have been completely wrong. But because I make video from game week to game week and then have to straight away focus on the next game week, I don't really get time to see how I'm doing. I could do a series where I just suggest a bunch of players. But I feel like FPL TV, run by Brett Speed, go check out his channel. Great graphics, great FPL videos. I feel like he's already done it, and I don't want it to come off too much of a copy of his idea. I like to try and be original and different, so... But we could probably figure out a way of doing it. I did try and do it with captaincy candidates, but captaincy candidates kind of suggested players that were too obvious, because it focused on the top 4 players that were voted for by polls, and I think often my videos do better when I'm not just talking about the top players. Quinton Jansen, if Kane blanks this game week, who's looking to drop him? Can I drop Harry Kane? Then again, I've said that about Aguero before, and then I've dropped him. I've said Sanchez has often been untouchable, and I've dropped him, so it is possible. Amir Hajar, I will change Valencia for Smalling and Speroni for Lloris. I mean, if you're wildcarding, hopefully you've got more changes to make than that. I don't see any problem with that. Valencia definitely has the potential to score goals, though, but so does Smalling. So I can see Valencia to Smalling being a decent move. Jamal Rice, why no Liverpool defenders? I'm sorry, I just really can't trust them. Because you've got rubbish keepers. I'm sorry, Jamal. I don't hate Liverpool. I actually really like watching Liverpool games. But the defence is bad. I know their defence might be good at home. But just, especially against decent sides, I worried that they're going to concede. That being said, I was quite close to bringing in Moreno. And then he had his performance recently. I do really like Joe Gomez as an option. If he could just nail on a place, I think Joe Gomez would go into my side. But other than that, I feel like, because if I actually look at who the best defence is overall, not taking home and away games in, we'll do an analysis now. This is going to put me even further behind in the chat, and this stream looks like it's going to go on for a while. In the last 6 game weeks, goals conceded, Liverpool are joint 7th best. They're below Chelsea, Man City, Burnley, Man United, Tottenham and Bournemouth. So there's options of teams there that have conceded less recently. Clean sheets wise, Liverpool are actually joint 2nd, but they're with teams like Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Spurs and Bournemouth. Burnley have more clean sheets. So already there's cheaper options in that Burnley side. Then there's options in the other sides which can be around the same price, maybe a bit more expensive, but they concede less. So when they do concede, they don't really score like a lot less. As far as shots conceded inside the box in the last 6, Liverpool again actually really good. They're 2nd to Man City, conceding 24 shots inside the box. Man City only conceding 18. The next best is Tottenham on 33. So as far as shots from inside the box, you know what? Fair play. Liverpool are doing very well. They're also doing very well for shots conceded in total. 10 behind Man City on 30, Liverpool on 40. The next best team is Arsenal on 56. So Jamal Rice, I'm kind of proving that you're right and I could potentially be wrong here. As far as shots on target conceded, Man City have conceded 10 shots on target. Liverpool have only conceded 12. What worries me is all these stats here, apart from goals conceded, are suggesting Liverpool's defence is the 2nd best in the league. But then why are they conceding more than other teams? And that's probably because of errors. And errors are going to stick in my head, which is probably why I've got this bias against their defence. What else can we look at? We can look at defensive slips. So we've got errors and errors leading to goals. So errors made in the last 6. Liverpool have made 3 errors. But to be honest, Arsenal, Man United have also made errors and they've made more. They've made 5. Errors leading to goals. Liverpool have only made 2 errors leading to goals. Southampton, Palace and Huddersfield are worse, but Man United and Arsenal have also made 2 errors leading to goals. So, yeah, everything suggests Liverpool's defence should be good to look at, but then they're joint 7th when I actually look at who's conceded the most, which is the thing that matters most to us FPL managers. But yeah, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. Liverpool defenders are a lot better option than I probably suggested when me and Jamal started having this little back and forth about Liverpool defenders. Okay, we got J-Rock. Okay, I think I've seen that already before. Suraj Karanja. If Kane doesn't score, he's going to go for Hazard alongside KDB, Salah and Pogba with 2 strikers, Aguero, Morata and Niasse. I mean, to be honest, midfield, there's players in midfield that are nailed on, like proper nailed on, like Salah, like Pogba. So potentially it's safer to go with those options. We are almost hitting 50 viewers in this chat, which is pretty good for Game Week 13. The thing is, when Kane has a really good game week, he can really help your ranking. Of course, there was the one game week I had where none of my players did well, apart from Harry Kane, and I still did well. Ayush Falur, don't bring up my Southampton FIFA career mode. Like, other people don't know about this, and this was before I even did FPL videos. And yeah, seriously, talking in front of a camera is something you need to get used to. And I'm glad I've done it now, because to me it's not even daunting now. Like, it was daunting going live, but now I'm used to it. So, and yeah, I still mess up going live. I mess up a lot, but again, it's something I'm going to challenge myself to. Challenge 1 was doing YouTube videos. Challenge 2 was streaming. Challenge 3 I started and then stopped vlogging. But the problem with vlogging is you have to be doing something. And I don't want to vlog just me going to work, coming back. But it's up to me to try and make it interesting. Lula Joe managed it. And for a while he was still a teacher. So it's up to me to make it interesting. Might speak with Lula Joe, see if he's got any tips for me about that. Quinton Jansen, true at J-Rock. Morata in frees up funds from mids who are in form. Exactly, Morata is very well priced in comparison to the more expensive strikers right now. So yeah, 3-5-2 looks like a good look, to be fair. If you can just figure out a really cheap midfielder along with Richarlison, you could stack up that midfield. Ben Mitchell needs replacements for Mbemba and Chicharito. Mariappa was the one that's the same price as Mbemba, that we've noticed is playing quite a lot. So if I quickly go to Watford, I forgot who suggested this, but they're a legend. I mean, look, 12 points only, but played from game week 5. He's only missed 2 games as a starter. Now, unfortunately, Watford aren't exactly killing it as far as playing defensively, but they did get a clean sheet last game week if you had him, but he'd have probably been sat on your bench anyway. So Mariappa is the one that we're suggesting for Mbemba. As far as Chicharito is concerned, 7 million is a very awkward price. There's probably better options cheaper and better options more expensive. So I would look at trying to somehow get value elsewhere and then either upgrade or downgrade from Chicharito. Ilyas Hussein, worth it to get Hazard with a Morata and downgrade defence? Potentially. I always like to slowly go into doubling up, although I've had 3 Spurs players for ages. But the reason I had Davis is just because he looked like good value at the time and was doing really well. I wasn't planning on having a Spurs defender, and that's why I kind of tripled on them. I would say Hazard and Morata is definitely worth working towards. There are options defensively that have been looking good. Man United have some cheap defenders right now that you could probably get in. As when I say cheap, I say they're not over 5.5 that potentially are going to play. You've also got the likes of Burnley, who are really offering a lot of value in defence. Mark Back likes potatoes. We need a potato emoji. As soon as I can make emojis, Because basically once you get enough sponsors on YouTube, you can make emojis, and then those that sponsor you can use those emojis. I'm going to make a potato emoji. Jerome, JNO, you should do polls in your stream. That has already been said. Let's have a quick update on the poll. So far, do I not get to see a live, because it just says 100%. I want to see the actual result of the poll. Okay, polls is obviously something I need to work on. I need to figure out how it works. I've added the poll, but I can't see what the poll currently is at, so never mind. Mark Back's Irish. So do you like whiskey and Guinness then as well? I actually, while Christmas shopping, there's a market in my town, and there's this guy selling whiskey, and I like my whiskey. He started talking to me. He let me try a whiskey that apparently only he sells. Is currently being made to sell in America, and I tried it, and it's an orange whiskey. Man, it was good. Man, it was good. If I might get it and drink it on stream. It was good. Like, that's all I can say. It was very smooth. It was very nice. I liked it. Anyway, Jeff Holt, 41, still watching the stream. It's turning into a river. Everybody like the video, subscribe. You've got to be part of the flock. Exactly. Why would you come and join the stream and not be part of the flock? We can fly high together. I'm coming up with sayings now. Let's fly high together. The flock flies high. Yush Valur, I love the way you dealt with the haters who attacked you in streams over the summer. I'll be honest, because I wasn't very confident in the stream at that time, the first time that happened really took me off guard, and I think that was quite obvious in the stream. I've left it up because, you know what, that's part of my journey. So if people want to go back and watch Nervous JNO streaming and getting completely caught off guard by a bunch of haters, then go and watch that, because it will show you how far I've come. I feel like I've come quite far away. So yeah, I enjoy the hate now. At the end of the day, be positive. Let everyone else be negative and be positive. David Knight, I love the stream. Great to listen to you while I'm on Battlefront. I'm not good at playing shooting games. I'm a FIFA man. Tell you what, guys. I think JNO United is actually my tag on Xbox. So if any of you play Xbox and play FIFA, feel free to add me, and we can always play a game or two. I'm not the best player, but I'm not the worst. At least that's how I like to advertise myself. Jeff Holt, Kane. Some votes for Kane. What are the stats on Kane in the top 1,000 teams? Or what's the free strikers the top 1,000 teams have at the moment? I don't know. Quinton Jansen, if you know where people get these stats about how many of the top 1,000 teams have Kane, I don't know where these stats come from, because I've seen writers mention this and I don't know where they come from. So that would be something I would love to add. And I actually have, there's a website called what's it called? Fantasy Football Geek. Fantasy Football Geek is a writer. He's got a website. I suggest it highly. It's one of the first websites I ever used. Writes a lot of articles. One of his articles is about the top 10 players. So he gets 10 players that he knows finish in the top 1k or something like that, and he follows them throughout the season and sees what moves they make and all that kind of stuff. I need to know how he gets that kind of data, because that would be great to add to the stream. Guys, I've dropped below 40k. This is unacceptable. I'm off. No, 40k. I meant 40 viewers. But of course I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about that. I bet if they do have Kane, he ain't been the captain. To be honest, if they're in the top 1,000, then yes, they probably haven't captained him, because he's not been performing, has he? Oh dear, I saw a comment saying JNO needs more drinks. What? Why is this stream popping so much today? I don't know why. But this is doing a lot better than some of my recent streams. Not that I'm complaining, I'm very, very happy. Sorry, my chat dropped to the bottom, so I've now got to find where I was. Can we ever captain Aguero again? Of course you can. Just when someone else takes over Man City. Yes, Real DMC, I am on the wine. Another Hoops has to go. Thank you very much for the congratulations. Jerome, if Jesus gets injured, we can? Definitely. Because Iheanacho's gone as well, so who would they play up front? Knowing our lot, he'd play Sane up front. Mark Back says Sane's a good shout, but he can't afford him. Quinton Jansen, I'll tell you what, right now, if one of those players, Aguero or Jesus, gets injured, the other player is a must-have, I think. Matsby Peterson, as far as I'm aware, Jesus isn't injured. I did not know this. Apparently TP Football Analysis and Dom Stimpfig have made a football account called General Footy Stuff on Instagram. So you know I told you to go check out TP Football's YouTube channel if you have Instagram. And I'm going to do it right now. At General Footy Stuff. Let's have a look-see. So this is happening live and hopefully you guys can join along with me. Don't want to show up too many of my... friends, because I don't know if they actually want to be on my stream. General Footy Stuff. So I'm presuming it's this one. So let me know in the chat if that right there, if it focuses. There we go. I think that's worked. And we're going to click a bit of a follow. 117 followers, so that isn't bad. Bang. So go and follow that. Let's see if... Whoa, it said hot girls follow right underneath as well. You know, hot girls like to follow me. Jesus is injured. I don't think so. Yeah. Thank you, J-Rock. Apologies. I've now been drinking. I had a mulled cider earlier. I then had a glass of wine while I was cooking, because I cooked dinner. And I've had 2 with you guys. So I shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully my pronunciation hasn't gone that bad. Yeah, Real DMC. Don't worry. Aguero and Jesus are still fit. So, yeah, the rotation is still a real issue. Kolasinac and me rising today. Yep, me is rising today as far as I can tell. From what I can see, Kolasinac is on 94.6. He needs to get to 100 to definitely rise. But he's very close to rising before the next game week. So is Speroni. Speroni's close to rising, so if you are thinking of bringing him in, you might want to bring him in soon. Zaha is on the rise as well. So is Ramsey. So Ramsey won't be 7 million for much longer by the looks of it. 25 days of FPL in the run-up to Christmas. I doubt it. I doubt it because unfortunately for me, Christmas, because I work in retail security, Christmas is a very busy period for me. I could potentially try it. It would be a lot of streams though, Jerome. A lot of streams to fill the gap. Maybe 25 days of streaming could be a thing. But then on my birthday, when am I going to stream? I could stream when I come back from going out. That could be very interesting for you guys. Maybe a bit embarrassing for me. Asad Tariq watching this at 2:30 AM from India. Thank you so much for staying up so late. Will Sane get rested anytime soon? You know what? I reckon he will get rested. He got rested for the Champions League game. With the busy period coming up in December, I'm sure he'll get rested at some point. Maybe Sterling plays on the left or something, and Silva plays on the right. Bernardo Silva, that is. But I don't know for definite. Pope or Elliott for this week? I think I went with... No, that was a different options, wasn't it? Burnley are playing Arsenal. I worry that Arsenal could run riot, but Burnley's defence are good at home. I would... Another complete punt. I would say Nick Pope could potentially get a lot of save points. So if he does keep a clean sheet and get those saves, he could have a great score. So I may actually go Nick Pope just for the potential of a massive score and accept the fact, because I think Watford could score against Newcastle, that I'm not getting a clean sheet from one of my goalkeepers this week. I'm going to go Pope. I've decided. I'm going Pope and hoping for the massive score. True, I think Pope is more likely to get big points if they do keep a clean sheet, because I don't think Mee's going to score. Although it's suggested with his underlying stats he could score, I don't think he will, because he hasn't recently. So Kane to Morata after this weekend. We'll see what he does against West Brom. I think I'm going Jesus to Morata. Yushvalur, hits shouldn't be taken lightly, but I wouldn't say avoid it at all costs. If you know for a fact your player isn't playing, and you know for a fact someone else is playing, they're going to get 2 or 3 points anyway just for playing. So, and someone else is getting 0. So you're only losing 1 point. And as soon as they do anything, if they score, if they get a clean sheet, you're already in the plus, in the green. So I wouldn't say it's avoidable at all costs, but I wouldn't take it lightly. But if you know someone isn't playing for 100%, I just wouldn't go and take like 16 points hit. But 4-point hit, not too bad. 8-point hit isn't too bad if you know for a fact those 2 players aren't playing and you have some faith in at least one of them, because you only need one of them out of 2 to really score to make up the points on a 2-point hit, or on 2 hits for 8 points. Yeah, it's very hard. This stream's going on a lot longer than I was planning on it going. I may have forgotten some questions I answered and carried on and answered them again. J Rock saying something similar to me. Martial is a gem. He had been starting every week. He was in my team without any doubt. To be honest, both Martial and Rashford, if they were in another team that had creative players behind them and were guaranteed to start up front, at their prices, you would put them in your team. Kane or Pogba captain this week? I'm going Kane. I've put my money on Kane, put my chips on Kane. But I do really like Pogba as well. Ilyas Hussein, Pope, Speroni, me, Daniels, Otamendi, Azpilicueta, Mariappa, Salah, Sane, Pogba, Richarlison, Choupo-Moting, Wilson, Lukaku and Morata. Any changes needed? I'd be quite happy with that team if I was you. The one I don't particularly like, but the chat knows this, is Lukaku. So, if you've got Pogba, I don't think you need Lukaku. No need to apologise for the pregnant pause. I see what you did there. Yeah, you have to scroll down, guys, to see the poll. Sorry, you have to scroll down past the buttons that are already there. There's the support me button, and then there's the watch one of my videos button. But then there is a poll. I potentially in next polls will get rid of those other 2. There's just polls, if that is something you guys want. Wow, I put the poll up how long ago? Jeez. I'll need to refresh the stream to see the poll as well. Okay. See, even I'm learning something, and you'd think how long have I been doing YouTube for? And I'm still learning something. How old is my daughter? If you're talking about the one that has been born, she's 2 and 5 months. So yeah, getting on in age. She's a chatterbox. She doesn't shut up. I see all these other parents with kids walking around in in town, in the shops, and they're nice and quiet, just sitting there. My daughter chats, just non-stop talking. I don't know if she hears me talking on stream or something, but yeah, never shuts up. I'm tempted to just have Morata up front, but I have a dirty midfield and defence. My midfield at the moment has Sane, Salah, Silva, Zaha and Richarlison. That's a good midfield. Kane winning 55 to 45. I'm not going to refresh my stream because I don't know what that would do. 3 weeks, red arrows, down from 800 to 23,219. Still a lot higher than me, Jeff. On a Rebel 100, glad I caught the stream, need help. That is what we're here to do, my friend. J Rock has a similar midfield to the previous midfield I just mentioned, but he's got Shaqiri. No worries about the shout out, Ilias. Wow, I'm really far behind this chat. I'm hoping I'm catching up. What is up, Fantasy Premier League? Another channel you guys can go and follow and support. That is a supporter of this channel on the stream, so definitely go check that out. So Dinesh L, your team: Elliot, Norton, Otamendi, Richarlison, Pogba, Salah, Ericsson, Grosh, Morata, Kane, Ward. Then I think Moreno. Have a -4. How does my team look? I like it. Ericsson is one I'm questioning still. Kane is one that is on his last legs with a lot of us. So it's the Spurs attackers, but they do have West Brom, so potentially you could be doing well this game week. Why no love for Silva? Because I just feel like he's... I don't know what XGI stands for. I did know, but I've been drinking, so I've forgotten. I feel like Silva isn't as good as Sane. That is the reason there's no love for Silva. And I feel like Sane is pretty nailed on. But I did say this about Sterling and I've been burned a couple of times there. But that is my opinion, is Sane is where the points are as far as Man City midfield. If you have Aguero and Nias and you need a forward, a lot of us thinking Morata. Because after this game against Liverpool, Chelsea's fixtures look very good. But I would expect Vardy to score this week, and so would Mark back 76. I'll be honest with you, TP. Your FPL series, with FPL, you need to get the videos out in pre-season. You will get so much growth in pre-season that then you can compete with the likes of me when it comes to normal game week videos. Because right now, you have to compete with FPL Tips. You have to still compete with that Fantasy Premier League Tips, who is back making videos with that stupid robotic voice. And he's still ripping off videos. He's just using the audio from Mark Southern and his Facebook live stream. He's just using the audio now and distorting it a little bit. So you've got to compete with him, and he puts out a stupid amount of videos. You have to compete with Kurtshaw, you have to compete with FPL TV, you have to compete with Zane Muller, you have to compete with Fantasy Football Scout. So it's a packed deck, because not only are you competing against all of those people, but you're competing against them in 1 week period. So you have 1 week to get your video ranked for game week, whatever. You have that 1 week, and you need to get it ranked in that 1 week. If you get game week 12 ranked and everyone's searching game week 13, doesn't matter. You need to be ranked early and then try and stay ranked throughout the week. So 1, Fantasy Premier League Tips is really hurting anyone trying to come up. 2, you've got to compete with the likes of me. And I'll be honest, when I started doing FPL videos, it wasn't as popular a thing, so I have a little bit of an advantage there. But I hope being part of my stream group and being part of the FPL Today flock, hopefully we can get you some views, some subscribers, and help you be able to compete with us. I have spoken to the Premier League about Fantasy Premier League Tips still ripping off videos, so we'll see what happens there. But TV Football Analysis, by the way, these streamers make this channel the best FPL channel. I don't know, because don't get me wrong, FPL, Let's Talk FPL, Andy's channel is really good and it's doing really well. He is the king of the streams. I personally think I do certain things in the stream a little bit better than he does, but I think overall his streams are the best. I think for that, I wouldn't call myself the best channel, because FPL Tips, in my mind, is the best one at making videos. And I'd say Let's Talk FPL, Andy is the best one that streams with just himself. I am trying to, and we'll see if I can get it to happen, get more people on my streams. I've figured out roughly how to get other people's cameras onto my stream, onto my computer, so it can stream as well. So there's a bunch of people I'm pretty close with in the FPL community that I could potentially get on. One is Zane Muller, one is Nim Freer. We've got Brett Speed, but I don't think he'd be on camera. And we've got, of course, Kurt Joy, who is the one that gave me a chance when I was coming up. So hopefully we might be able to do something during Christmas. I'll talk to them, see if they've got any time off, and we might be able to do a stream with a bunch of people, a bunch of our faces, and we can see how we do there. So that is something that could come. Not promising it for definite. TV Football Analysis, remember the stream in July where you did an FPL draft live stream? I have not looked at my FPL draft live stream at all. I really think you need a smaller group of people. Next year, and we were trying to do it this year, but next year I really hope me and some of the FPL community get together and do a stream of just us lot, because I think 4 or 5 people, it would be competitive, and then we can make videos about it. I think with the 20 people, after I got my second pick, all the players I was looking at had gone. So yeah. You've roasted us this stream, man, really bad. Sadly, we deserve it. Oh, if we're talking about Liverpool, sorry. I apologise. I do like Liverpool, I really do. I do. I love Coutinho. I love the Suarez-Sturridge era. I love the attacking play. But the defence has been bad for so long. I'm sorry. Background outside your window sounds like the intro to Blockbuster Sweet Siren. There might be some sirens going past. There were earlier. Quinton Jansen, again, that is a great idea. Absolutely fantastic idea. The only issue is I don't know where to get those stats from. But I will look into it. I will talk to some people and see if I can find out. Real DMC hopes while he scores it will be leaving his team. JNO needs more drinks. There's a comment I saw ages ago. This is Vardy's week. Hopefully. That's the problem. I've got my window open because basically my wife complains that this room is too hot because I've got my monitor on, which I'm viewing everything that I'm looking at. Camera on. Got a light on here. Soft light. So the lighting is still decent despite the fact it's late outside. And we have my computer running, which you can probably hear because the microphone isn't too far away. And we've got the mic up here. So we've got a lot of things running at the same time and this room gets hot. Now it's not hot for me because I'm used to being here. Sorry if you're hearing me move my pop screen. Hopefully that stops now. But I'm getting used to it. I'm in the room and it's just hot. There is a fan I could also run, but who knows if that would work. She comes in the room to go to bed and she's like, man, it's hot in here. So yeah, that is why you can hear sirens, because the window is open. Roof to Proroy. I'm sorry if I butcher. I know I have. Hi JNR, I've always caught your streams later but never live, so happy to catch it for a bit. I'm happy you've managed to join a stream, mate. Much appreciated you joining and much appreciated the support on the streams afterwards, because streams for some reason rank a lot easier, but they just don't get the views, because especially this one's gone on an hour and a half now, so it probably won't get the views because it's too long. Would I recommend Sermon, Aguero to Hazard and Wilson? Yes, I would. Sermon, though, has been a great shout for anyone, especially if you've had him for a while. Well done, because Sermon has quietly got points without anyone really noticing, and he was cheap. And he was probably a better option than the likes of Tom Carroll and a lot of the players, a lot of the experts were looking at. Sermon came in and outperformed a lot of them, so well done if you had Sermon. Hazard and Wilson right now look like great options. Wilson is off of only one game, but Wilson has always shown promise of being a budget striker that could do really well. It's going down in the chat. Someone called the police. I mean, this chat has probably gone on too long. It's probably illegal. I'm actually going to run out of wine. So, that's how well this chat's going. This stream is going. My starting so far are Pope, Davis, me, Daniels, Coutinho, Hazard, Loftus, Gross, Sterling, Kane, Aguero, Bench, Jones, Marapi, and Niasse. Niasse is suspended for 2 games, I believe. Coutinho, I would try and get rid of. I think there's probably Pogba's probably a better option. Aguero's the risk of rotation. Otherwise, Davis is also a risk of rotation, so I'd worry about Davies. Those are the players I'd look at changing. Siraj, thank you for being in the stream for so long. This one has gone on later than I thought it would, but thank you for staying in the stream. Much appreciated. I hope Kane scores 7 goals as well. If he does, I'm going to... I don't want to say something stupid. I might... What could I do if he scores a hat-trick or more? Leave it in the comments below. Or not the comments. Okay, the comments if you're watching this after the fact. And well done if you've watched an hour and 40 minutes of me. But in the chat, leave what you want me to do if Kane scores a hat-trick or more. Do we get rid of Southampton defenders? I don't want any Southampton players in my side. They just have not been performing really at all. So they've just been quietly average, but nothing good. So I would get rid of Cedric, yes. You can get someone from Burnley and they'll do better for you. Jeff Holt, this torrential river stream may be interrupted by Riley's arrival. If it goes that long, I'm probably losing my job. So hopefully this stream gets some monetary gain into my bank account. Because imagine streaming from November to March. Yush Falur would like to know YouTubers I watch regularly. There's one video every week that I watch religiously, and it's actually by BuzzFeed Blue. And I don't like BuzzFeed, but I love these 2 guys and their series, and it is Something Unsolved. Damn it. BuzzFeed Unsolved, where they look at paranormal stuff, ghosts and that kind of stuff, and they look at crimes as well and conspiracies, and they just go through all the theories and everything like that. It's just really interesting, and the 2 guys are very funny. So that is my top show at the moment. I watch Philip DeFranco a lot. I do watch Keemstar a lot as well. That way I kind of know what videos I need to watch as far as that YouTube scene goes, to kind of stay in touch with what's happening. Other than that, I do watch a lot of Mini Minter, Simon from the Sidemen. I do watch Harry whenever he does upload. I watch Chris MD. Chris MD is really good. F2 Freestylers, I watch their videos. Who else do I watch? Oh, I just want to say for the FIFA people, I don't watch any of the massive FIFA guys, but Nick, who does Run the Foot Market on YouTube, and Elite, who does FIFA stuff as well. They're both traders. They both just trade on Ultimate Team. I love watching those guys' videos, and I've not bought a single pack this year on Ultimate Team, and I have about 800k, and hopefully over Black Friday I will make that into over 1 million. I'm not by any means a great trader on Ultimate Team, but I love those channels. And other than that, I can't really... I do watch... what is it? The one that do YouTubers react, old people react, kids react. I watch that. I watch What Culture Wrestling. I watch Cultaholic. So there's a lot of stuff I watch. A lot. But those are the ones off the top of my head that I can... I do watch Theo Baker quite a bit as well. I think that pretty much covers it. And I follow all of the Sidemen, and if they do a football video, or like Cal Freezy, I watch that. Calix, I think, is very underrated. I think his videos are funny, but he doesn't upload that often. Anyway, back on to FPL. To be honest, at Southampton, the atmosphere is dreadful. When the Saints are 1-0, they don't look fussed and they give up. Whole Southampton team has underperformed. I'd agree. A potato emoji. We've got a potato emoji without even paying for it. Thank you, TP, for that. Every time a hater comes in and says anything negative in the stream, just spam potatoes in the chat. They will be so confused. Apart from the guy that called me a potato. Oh, apparently the poll, according to Quinton Jansen, is Lukaku in favour. Oh no, and then Jerome says it's Kane in favour. So yeah, who knows who's where. Tiger Rage is in the chat. Welcome back to the chat. I don't think I've seen you for a while. Have you tried an ABC shot? What the hell is an ABC shot? I do not like the sound of that. And my chat's just dropped to the bottom again. Wish they'd stop doing that. Call on me. So I've just seeing comments as I'm scrolling back to where I am at. J&O could have been Writer's Tears, Whiskey or May Redbreast. Both good. Yes, I like Whiskey and Guinness. I can't remember it. I will try and find out the name for you, Mark. If we go back to the market, I will go and get the name. But it tasted amazing. A Yush Valur, that's fine. Gin is not for me, generally. If it's in a cocktail, it's not too bad. But I've drunk gin and it's just not for me. Wow, Everton lose 5-1. Jeez. On PlayStation, shame, but loving FIFA this year. That's a shame, Real DMC. Is Abraham playing? I wouldn't risk it. It looks like he's carrying a knock. Quinton John's got to go soon. Thank you for mentioning my correctly knowing you, Mr. JNO. Thanks. No worries, Quinton Jansen. Thank you so much for becoming part of the flock. I don't think I've seen your name that regularly, but you've been a really good part of this stream, so thank you so much, my man. Aguero is a big risk now. I'm downgrading to Wilson and upgrading Sermon to Hazard for a 3-5-2. Hazard definitely looks an integral part of Conte's new formation, just for the record. Jeff Holt's got to go finish his Thanksgiving meal. Really trust this stream did so well. All deserved. See you next time. Have a good game week. Look out for my MF returns. Not sure what MF returns means, but thank you so much, Jeff, for joining. Always a pleasure. Have a great Thanksgiving, my friend. Call on me. Call on me. On me. If he scores, I might have to do that before a video starts. TB Football Analysis, yep, you've got the right account on Insta. Thank you for following. The account started off as Transfer Rumours, but it's going to be an FPL account soon. I'll be honest, the one thing I worry about with FPL is, apart from one person, like the future of FPL content, there's no one that's really shot up and kind of taken that second spot with like setting over 10k subs that I've seen yet. It looks like Andy might do it. Andy might be the next guy, but the growth is so slow apart from pre-season that I'm not going to lie, I have looked at ways I could try and do other stuff on this channel just to help it grow. I would always do FPL videos because it's where I started, it's where I got my big break. But if you look, and like for instance, Kurt Yor's been doing this even longer than me, where's the guys making a wage off of this? Like, because I would love to be able to do this full time. I absolutely love making videos, and I'd love to be able to dedicate my time to it. But if FPL is the way to do it, it's the way that I've been most successful in. And now I've done so well, I don't want to stop it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just don't see the guys getting real success. And FPL Tips has been doing it a lot longer than me, and I think he dominated because he started before most people. Fellow flocker. I could start telling people to flock off as well. Anyone annoys you at work or something, flock off. 25 days of streaming, yes please. On your birthday, pre-record a video and release it on your birthday. That I could do, I guess. It wouldn't be 25 days of streaming though. Could I fit in a stream? I could talk to the missus and see how I can fit in a stream. Pope is the Heaton. Potentially. I'm loving Pope. I've only just brought him in, but I like Nick Pope. Took me a while to get to first name terms with him because I just couldn't remember his first name. Kane Potato, Ali Potato, Ericsson Potato. You can always trust the Spuds. Nice one, Ruth. Fantasy Premier League, Pope, Speroni, me, and Moreno. Whom to play? I'd play Pope, Speroni, and Moreno, and then me on the bench would probably come in for Moreno because I imagine Moreno might not start. 1 second, guys. The missus has just opened the door. Yeah, it's gone well this time. Sorry. You want to come bed? Yeah. Well, you're not on camera, so you can... As long as you don't come, like, here. So the wife is joining the stream as well. That's how well this stream is going.
You see me in the background a little bit. But...
She says apologies if she distracts you by going into the background. Play me this week or transfer Jones out from Mustafi and play him. Want to save transfer ideally for Morata Hazard next week. I'd play me. There's the potential for Burnley to get a clean sheet. Arsenal did play really well last game, but Burnley are really good at home and they have kept some big teams out from scoring before. So I wouldn't put it against them doing it, but it looks unlikely. But if you have a plan for that transfer, then save it for the next week, and you could have a really good week next week, and then just have an average week this week, but overall it could be better for you. What's the story about Jones? Mourinho came out and said he won't feature this week. It doesn't look like it's a massive issue. It doesn't look like he will be back soon, but Mourinho's definitely said he won't be playing this game next game week, or the game week coming. Okay, so Jerome out for Brighton, I think, and just generally injury prone, so may not play a lot over Xmas. To be honest, from what I've heard, Jones has been injured a lot this season and has just been fighting through it. So I think if Smalling and Rojo work, Jones will get rested. But I do think Jones is a favoured centre-back for Mourinho, but I just think he needs to be rested. Okay, Anish Fakar. Hey Geno, would you wildcard this team? If not, what changes? De Gea, Elliott, Maguire, Ward, Vertonghen, me, Bertrand, Carlson, Sane, Gross, Morata, Aguero, Kane. I don't think that team needs a wildcard. Aguero could be someone you could take out. And if you've got someone slightly cheaper, you could do a lot with the rest of your team. But De Gea is going to get points. He's expensive, but he will get points. Maguire, Leicester could do well with Maguire. He's one that can always pop up with an assist or a goal. Ward has looked good. Vertonghen, Mees look good. Bertrand, potentially a transfer out. Richarlison, Sane, definitely want to keep. Grosh has looked good as well, to be fair. So I wouldn't need to wildcard. Tobiason, welcome to the stream. We are almost at 2 hours now, so thank you for joining the stream. Other mid-subs are Carroll and Atsu. Carroll and Atsu I'd probably try and change. I think Sermon and I think Loftus-Cheek are better than Carroll. As far as Atsu's concerned, I'm pretty sure there must be better options than Atsu. Yeah, analysis, TP football analysis. I always think playing it early is beneficial. This year it may not have played off for me, but I think sometimes you can drop quite a lot because you just have so much work to do on your team. Is Dummett back now? Let's have a look. I've got the injuries website. View full injury table. And we want to go Newcastle. No, I don't want to track it. Paul Dummett, thigh injury. November 21st has done the full training session, so that is positive news for us. Potential return is down as the 2nd, so he's ruled out of the next game week. Dom Stimfig, what do you use to edit your before? I'm assuming you mean my videos. So for my videos, I started off on Sony Movie Studio, which was about 35 quid. It's basically like the baby version of Sony Vegas. I've now upgraded to Sony Vegas, which allows me to do a few more things, but generally the layout and the buttons and everything is the exact same, so there wasn't a learning curve from Movie Studio to Vegas. So I managed to not have any point where my video production slowed down because I knew exactly what I was doing in the software. I use a Lumix Panasonic selfie camera, Panasonic DMC-TZ something or other. That's what I use to record the videos. And a soft light which I kind of built myself from different parts. And then a monitor from BenQ and a laptop made by PC Specialist. That is everything I use to make video. And then for streams, I've also got a blue Yeti microphone on a boom pole by Rode. And for the stream, I use a lot of the same stuff I've just mentioned and a Logitech C920 for the streams. FPL Boss, let's have a look. I've not heard of FPL Boss, that's a new one. Sorry guys, I've got to plug in my wife's phone.
Sorry.
Okay, so FPL Boss. 101 subscribers. That's not bad, to be fair. So we've just added to it. And related channels. I'm not in his related channels, so why should I? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Let's see if we can add him to... I should have copied his name. Alright, let's have a look. Go back. Just copy his channel. There you go. He should now be added. And yeah, if anyone else with a channel is in the chat, just tell me to add you and I will go ahead and do that. TP, I think I'll join your league. Yeah, YouTube is a hard business. It isn't because people make out. Some guy with 10k subs gave me a shout. I've got 50 subs in. I was so hacked off. To be honest, unfortunately, a lot of people think if you get a shout out from someone, you jump up massively in subscribers. It doesn't always work that way. The biggest jump I got from a shout out was from someone that didn't even do FPL stuff, but he had a shout out series, and I didn't enter it, but I'd talked to him about doing a FIFA series collaboration, and he just decided to shout me out. And because the whole shout out scene is people go and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment saying so and so sent me, and then the guy on the next shout out series picks one of those people. I got 50 plus subs from that when I was quite small, about 700 subscribers, and that was the biggest jump I've ever had. Loki Doki has shouted me out and it hasn't got me 50 subs. So a lot of the time collaboration is better than a shout out, to be fair, because they get to see what you're like on that other person's video. I've had a lot better responses from collaborations than I have had from shout-outs. FPL Family, I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to, because I've noticed them. What amount did you say they were on? Because they look like they're on 448. Oh, you didn't say a number. So, although they're streaming competition, I'm not sure I can put up with that. Again, see, look at this. They've got Kurtjoy, they've got FPL Tips. Oh, they've got the guy I hate as a related channel, and not me. I'm not sure I can accept that. I'm joking. No, but their content is good. I do enjoy their content. I am subscribed already, as far as I can tell. I know they're, or at least maybe I searched them when I look. But there you go. Although, if I was you, Matsby Peterson, I would have a word with them and say you shouldn't be related to that channel, because the Premier League are watching them, so that's partly my fault, but I'm not going to apologise for that. TP Football Analysis, I think next season I'll be more efficient and do more pre-season. The problem is I've got GCSEs coming up relatively soon, but your shout-outs have got me a few subs and followers on Instagram. I'm glad they have. Hopefully, maybe we can do it a couple more times. So, yeah, TP, it's hard, but if you can dedicate time to pre-season, I've made about 1,000+ subscribers the last 2 pre-seasons, and had a decent growth for a new channel the first pre-season I did videos in, and I didn't even focus on it, and I think I got about 200 in a month. So definitely focus on pre-season if you can. Fantasy Premier League, I'm definitely subscribed to you, but let's add you to the related. Let's have a look at channels. Might find it a bit quicker. Filters, channel. See, the fact that he's above me annoys me. Grr. Well, that's annoying. Struggling to find you. There we go. 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations, man, for hitting the 1K. Again, I'm not in your related channels. All you guys asking me to put you in my related, and you're not in. I'm not in yours. There we go, that is done. Liverpool defence is a clown show, stay away. I've had deep conversations with people about that, but I kind of agree the balled off. TP Football Analysis, FPL, Let's Talk FPL is good, but he doesn't answer every question. To be honest, it's really hard to answer everyone's questions, and the more popular your stream is, the harder it is. Like right now, I've been hitting 40 to 50 viewers consistently, and I'm still struggling to catch up with the questions. So imagine his streams where he's getting like 1,000 people viewing his stream. It's going to be near on impossible. Now, what I noticed Loki Doki does is he has someone moderate the stream and give him the best questions to answer, which is a very good way of doing it. I don't think Andy has anyone to do that. So it's not that I don't think he wants to answer all your questions. I think it's the fact that he's got to a point where he's so big, it's really hard to answer everyone's question. I think all of you have been a bit harsh on FPL tips. He's got some good graphics. He is a highly ranked player regularly. I know he started earlier than me, and to be honest, a lot of people prefer a style where you don't have the person on camera. Because if you look at who's grown very quickly, that Fantasy Premier League tips channel that I don't like grew very quickly, no person actually on camera. FPL tips, no person actually on camera. You've got FPL TV, which has grown quite well, nobody on camera. Whereas I've noticed people that actually appear on camera, apart from Andy, apart from me, apart from Kurtjoy, who are the big people on the FPL community on YouTube. Zane grew very quickly, and I kind of know why he did, which is a very good strategy by him, by the way, is he just got the videos out before the rest of us did, and he did it for long enough without any of us really realising. But other than Zane, it's no one's really jumped out, and there's some good creators that are creating content, but they just can't grow because not everyone wants to see someone. They just want the stats and the ideas. No problem, Dom Stimfig. If someone could put the league code in the chat, if that's what Dom Stimfig is asking for. Alex, are you not worried about your own team? Mbemba, Norton, Davis, Carroll, Abraham look like problems. Mbemba has been a problem for me for a while. So is Norton. Davis actually does play quite regularly, so I'm not too worried about Davis because I think he's going to play this game week as well because they're playing Rose in the Champs League. So Norton does play. Swansea just haven't been good. I still have 3 defenders that I can rely on pretty much, or 2 defenders that I can rely on. Carroll often is on the bench anyway. Abraham is an issue, but that's only a recent issue. So you've pointed out 5 problems, and I've got 3 of them that can go on the bench. And Davies usually plays, and so does Norton. So I'm not too worried. I've got a transfer in the bank to make that only 4 problems, and I'm not doing too badly. I'm still in the top 500k of players this season. If the balled off, if I tell my wife that, she might slap me on stream.
Yeah. What?
Told me to tell you man can never be hot. I mentioned why the window's open because they could hear sirens. Why isn't Everton looking at Howe as a manager? I don't know. To be honest, I think everyone's so hyped up on Silva from Watford that everyone's forgetting Eddie Howe and what he's achieved. Yeah, I already annoy my wife too much with that song, so I'm really not going to do that. What is my overall rank? My overall rank is the 400 and something region K. If we go to points, 418,739th is my rank at the moment. Probably not as good as I was last season, but the season before I was probably worse than this. So, and then managed to still get a top 1% finish. So I'm hoping to still reach that. If Kane scores 7, I'll break my neighbour's window. Please don't do that, because if they ask why and the police ask you, they might say I was in a stream with J&O, and then I might get in trouble. Do a live stream very drunk. I'm not too sure that's a good idea, Michael.
Really isn't.
I mean, you've seen during pre-season a couple of the streams I ended quite drunk. I'd say tipsy, and the quality had dropped consistently during the stream until the point where I was struggling and I knew I was, so I ended it. I'm not sure how entertaining it would be. It would either be really entertaining but embarrassing for me, or really boring. So I'm not sure I like either of those 2 results there. If Kane scores a hat-trick, do an FPL stream with your wife so she can get some nice messages about Riley. The problem with that is I've already had haters come on and try and attack my daughter, and whilst I'm not that bothered if someone calls me a potato or the fat cousin of Troy Deeney, I don't really want that going at the rest of my family. So maybe one day when I'm massive and we don't even bother looking at the chat and the stream and everything, then maybe, but probably not if Kane scores a hat-trick. If Kane scores hat-trick, get Jack Daniels or Red Label. Siraj, you said you were going bed. What are you still doing up? It's too late in Russia. You should not be up right now. Ayush Fuller, Spencer Owen. I used to be a fan of Spencer Owen. When it became like a lot of his channel is now #United. Don't get me wrong, I love the idea, and I do watch the Wembley Cup and the series around Wembley Cup. I just kind of, it wasn't as entertaining to me anymore, and I've got a lot less time to watch videos now, so yeah, I've kind of stopped watching Spencer Owen apart from the Wembley Cup time. I did watch #Academy though. That was quite good. Real DMC, if Kane scores a hat-trick, did a stream drinking neat Jack Daniels. Why do you guys want to get me drunk so much? Yish Falur, I am a wrestling fan. I don't watch as much as I used to. I kind of watch the YouTube videos of the highlights because I just don't have time to watch a 3-hour episode of Raw. TP Football now, Spencer FC is great, even though it's insulting he's played at Wembley more times than Premier League clubs have. Look, I like Spencer. I really respect what he's done. I don't think he's got the growth he deserves. It's a bit like the same with KSI. I just don't enjoy the videos as much as I used to. Whereas there are some guys that I've continued to enjoy the videos of. So it's all about personal taste though, isn't it? Ayush Falur, even though I hate Everton, it'll be really sad if they get relegated. I love the Diaries and have a great history. I'm one of the founding members of the Premier League. It would be a real shame if Everton go down. I personally think the squad they have, it shouldn't go down. I don't know what happened with Koeman. They really should have won some of those games because at some point they looked like they could contend with big clubs. So potentially they should have got more points than they did. Still think it's harsh to judge them on a period where they played all of the top 6 though. Mark back, Arsenal lost 1-0 if I'm correct. Ayush Fuller wants to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Wife says thank you. To be honest, I care more about Hereford in the FA Trophy and FA Cup round over the next week than FPL. In fact, I've been on this stream for 2 hours. You can tell I care a lot about Hereford. Okay, I get that. Which league are Hereford in? I'm sure he's answered you. Most likely to keep a clean sheet this week or get a goal for a defender. Michael Foley, you asked some difficult questions. Okay, so Ben Davies is a shout purely because he's done it before and got massive point totals. Leighton Baines, Southampton, poor attack. Leighton Baines takes penalties, so you could get a goal and a clean sheet from Leighton Baines. Man City are a decent shout for a clean sheet and a defender getting an assist. Otamendi has got a decent goal threat. Bournemouth have defenders that can score and they're playing Swansea. So those are the ones I'd really look at. Arsenal, you've got Kolasinac and Mustafi who have got points scoring goals. They're against Burnley. Those, I can't really see anything else that really jumps out at me. Harry Maguire maybe against West Ham. Could potentially get something as well. Charlie Daniels is a great... I've got to agree with you, Ruth. He's a great attacking threat. The bad elf. Stop it. Behave. I'm not saying it. Bournemouth do have good fixtures. Just clean sheet-wise, they don't look that certain. TB Football Analysis, Hereford are near the top of the Southern Premier League. Michael Foley, they're promoted 2 seasons running. Love to see that a lower league club get promoted over and over again. Hopefully one day FC Wimbledon will play Hereford. It'll be a good game to see. Haven't lost a league away game since August 2015. Club formed in 2014. That's really impressive. I think I have added you Fantasy Premier League. Steve Shotton, you are really late. We've been going 2 hours 13 minutes now. Glad to see you join the stream. How are we still on 40 plus viewers? Ruth Taprori, FPL tips video this week sounds like Joe Pasquale. That's a bit savage, surely. No, Fantasy Premier League tips and FPL tips are 2 different channels, just for the record. FPL tips makes his own content. Fantasy Premier League tips, 1 he's playing off of, I think, FPL tips' name. 2 he's using Mark Southern's voice. But it's the whole word, Fantasy Premier League tips. Please don't send any hate to FPL tips. He's done nothing wrong, apart from apparently some of you don't like his voice. Why am I turning for your phone? No. 2 transfers, Stones to Daniels and Firmino to Morata. I like those transfers, Steve. David Knight. I'm not sure how I should take this. I kind of like it you're not as popular because you can answer people's questions in the nicest possible way, never get too popular. Huh? We kind of have a disconnect there, David, because I do want to get more popular. Yeah, I don't know how I would have to do it. If I did get to the point where I had as many people in streams as Andy does, I could always see if the wife would agree to be a moderator and just use the best questions. But she doesn't know the most about FPL, so I could maybe see if someone in the community would do it for me. And then for doing it, they kind of appear in the stream as well. But yeah, we'll have to try and figure out a way to do it, but it is really difficult when you get to a certain size. Again, Josh Hill, just to 100% make sure no hate goes to the wrong person, and I personally don't want anyone to go send him hate anyway. I'm dealing with it with Mark himself and the Premier League. FPL Tips has done nothing wrong. Fantasy Premier League Tips is the guy using Mark Southern's audio. Thank you very much, TP Football Analysis. You know what? So I don't think it is on this one. I think on my J&O one you are on there. But I kind of try and kept like my subscriptions on FPL Today channel. So there's a subscription. And TP, I'd suggest you get a banner, because that be something that puts a lot of people off from subscribing, that you've not got one there. And then bang. There we go. Okay, thank you, by the way, Fantasway. Steve shot an overall point 740 over rank 5,928. We've got a high baller in the chat with Steve Shotton here. Fat Cousin of Troy Deeney isn't actually that new. That one's I've been getting for a while since I did those football videos a couple of years, probably only 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago. Ayush Falur, 4 AM in India. You should be going to bed. As much as I want more viewers in this, you should be in bed. Jeff Holt finished dinner and I'm still here. Yes. I'm trying to catch up to the end of this so I can answer everyone's questions. I may not get to it. Did I watch Survivor Series? I did. I watch the pay-per-views, especially if it's a big one. A big pay-per-view like Survivor Series, SummerSlam, or a Rumble, WrestleMania. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. Nothing surprising really happened. Although they've booked Braun Strowman really well. I still don't think he's good, but I enjoy his character. So it's 9:30 AM here in Sydney. You should be up at 9:30 anyway, Josh. So you can't expect me to congratulate you for being up in the morning. But thank you so much for being part of the stream anyway. Jeff Holt, if Harry Kane scores a hat-trick, you have to sing a line for my parody. Rock you because I'm Harry Kane, Scorpion's parody. Maybe. My singing isn't that good. 23, 25. I think that's... No, I'm 22, 35-ish. Almost Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting corrected and I'm alright. Cold, cold, cold in Norway. See my tweet to your 4th of November for lyrics. I'll think about it. I kind of prefer the drinking idea to me singing. I have an exam tomorrow and I know less than Jon Snow. Ayush, you need to study. You shouldn't be in my stream if you should be studying and you should be sleeping. I'm now going to feel bad if you don't do well. Heavy storm in Norway. I hope everyone is safe up there, mate. Okay. Well, I much prefer to play Hereford FC anyway. But shame they folded. I'm not sure why that happened. I don't personally know much about the Hereford thing. Fantasy, we should definitely see if we can work something out. TP, you don't need to try and get me a few subs. I understand the size you're at. Just focus on your own channel for now, mate. I'll tell you, Ayush, what match I really liked over that weekend. Velveteen Dream versus, is it Alistair Black? That match was sick. If Kane scores a hat-trick, then Kane will rock you. How focused are you on studying if you're on the stream as well? And an admin. Mark back, baby's crying, got to run, good night and good luck. No worries, mate, go sort that out. And you know what? Now that I've finally caught up with all the questions, before anyone else asks anything, I shouldn't have been on for this long. So I will end it here. So thank you guys so much for such a great stream. It's much appreciated. When this goes up as a normal video, if you could like it, that would be much appreciated. Also, check out all the links in the description if you want to support the channel. If Kane scores a hat-trick, you wear a really embarrassing hat. I don't have any embarrassing hats.
His head's too big.
If you heard that, my wife said my head's too big for embarrassing hats anyway. Christmas hats don't fit my head, unfortunately. But potentially, we'll figure something out. If Kane scores a hat-trick, I'll do something. Do have a league we can join, so I will quickly put the league in. So I'm posting the league in the chat. I heard today Podge has taken over at West Brom. Wow.
Really?
I wouldn't have hired him. But then again, I wouldn't have hired David Moyes at West Ham. Alright, night. Steve, everybody, will he play? I don't think he's going to play, unfortunately. I think he's still injured. Matsby Peterson had to help some neighbours with a crushed playhouse. Yes, I finally caught up, finally. Girlfriend's making sure you study. To be honest, she could maybe be doing a better job if you're in this stream. Good night to everyone. And that's it. We're calling it here. So, this has been FPL Today. No, I've done that wrong. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game.